Hey everyone, Jonzarroni here, back again with another video. Today, I'm going to do something that I've never really done before, and that's give an opinion or review, which today's kind of a mix of both, probably more of an opinion, about the new, quote-unquote, Saints Row Reboot. I say new with the quotes and the asterisks and all that bullshit because the game's been out for almost a year, and here I am finally doing it, and yeah, so just deal with it. I'm sure that no one probably gives a shit what I have to say, because you've probably been hearing the same crap from every other person that's in the Saints Row community. But I like to give my own little snippet just because I can. So here I am talking about the game. Now, I'm a person who grew up on the obviously older Saints Rows, I guess you would say the originals, Saints Row 2 to be exact. I started off with that game, and my curiosity peaked once I beat it, and I wanted to know what the first game was like, so I ended up getting the first game on the Xbox. So I grew up in that era. Now, I've played all Saints Row games. Saints Row 1, 2, 3, 4, Gat Out of Hell, and all shit in between, except for those, I don't know what they would be, those mobile games, whatever, where you have to go kill decks and all that shit. I never played those. I don't even think those were officially released, so I don't know anything about those. But I don't know how I feel about the new game. Okay, let's start here. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I did enjoy it. Not gonna lie. Would I recommend it? Maybe. If you're a new Saints Row person in the franchise, sure, go right ahead. If you're someone who's been around since 2006 and 8, like how I've been when the first and second game came out, you want to check it out, sure, but just lower your expectations, and I really mean lower. If you don't care about the old story, sure. So it's basically preference. You want to play, play. If you don't want to play, don't play. You want to read reviews, read reviews. Want to watch an idiot like me talk about it, sure, why not? It's up to you. It really is. But for me, it took me, the game came out in August and I bought it right away. I didn't pre-order, but I bought it I think a day or two after release. And it took me until probably December to finish it. The game's not that long, but I dragged it out because I kept forgetting about the game, and then I wasn't really that into it. I know I said I liked it, I enjoyed it, yes. But the thing that bothers me is that they threw a Saints Row label on this game and said this is Saints Row. To me personally, it did not feel like a Saints Row game. I think it became more of a, it could have been its own standalone, completely different game that Volition would have came out with and said, we're going to take inspirations from the Saints Row series to make a whole new game. I'd be cool with that. Not to come and slap the Saints Row sticker on it and then call it a reboot. It just didn't feel from what we're used to, and it bothers me. It bothers me for what the game was. I feel like there could have been so much potential. Like, okay, this is what I think the game could have been as a reboot. In Saints Row 2, you wake up, or the boss wakes up from his coma, right? Okay. Now, I thought the reboot, or maybe a good idea for the reboot, would have been everything that happened in Saints Row 2, 3, and 4 were all vivid dreams from the boss's head while they were in the coma. And then the reboot would be you waking up, or the boss waking up from the coma, realizing what the hell was all that about, and then everything in Saints Row 2 is completely different. He thinks Carlos may die, so he tries every way possible to protect him. He knows of this guy named Carlos. So it's almost like he kind of seen the future, but doesn't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And I think that would have been pretty cool. It could have kept its core roots. You know what I mean? The core roots. Come on, people. We're all on the same page here. Could have kept the core roots, and it could have kept old friends coming back. And it would have been new friends to get a chance to experience those games. Because a lot of the guys, a lot of new fans, they play Saints Row 3, but then some of them may not go back to 2. Like me personally, I know a couple of people that started on 3 and 4. I tell them, like, look, you guys enjoyed those games, that's fine, good, I enjoyed them too. But if you want to play you want to get to the nitty gritty of Saints Row, go play 1 and 2. I had a friend of mine go play 2, he couldn't get past the first couple missions because it was too boring. Now, compared to how free-flowing Saints Row 3 was compared to 2, I could kind of see that, but considering that I started at 2. I'm used to it, right? But the point is that I think there was potential to kind of reintroduce those games to people, because now I think the Saints Row name is just tainted. I really do. They try to sell you a game, slap Saints Row name right on it, and then they said, okay, well, here you go. This is it. This is the best we're going to give you. They even pushed the game back. What was it supposed to be released in February, I think, of last year, 2022? And it got released in August. What is that? March, April, May, June, July. 6 months. It's a 6 months pushback. You know what I mean? Like, and the game was glitchy as hell. And I don't know. When the game first released its trailers and a little bit more gameplay stuff, I was extremely skeptical. I'm like, I don't really like where the direction that this game's going in. Do I actually want to get it? Gave it some time, watch more videos. I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to try it myself, and I'm going to make my own judgment call. It doesn't take me a year to make this judgment call. It's just I've pushed this video back for almost a year. So, again, this is not really much of a review. This is more of my opinion of the game. If they were to come out with a sequel to the reboot, would I play it? I don't know. I don't know, simply because I didn't enjoy the story too much of the first version, or the first reboot, right? Again, I did say I enjoyed the game, but I enjoyed kind of like the gameplay. It was satisfying to do those takedowns. You know how they introduced them in Saints Row 3? I enjoyed those. Those were cool. Now, they kind of had those takedowns with a slight little bit of a mix of the Saints Row 2 fighting styles, I feel. It would have been cool if you could mix those fully together and have new fighting styles plus takedowns. It makes the game a little bit more fun. You don't really see that in open world games. I'm looking at you, Grand Theft Auto. So, it's, the gameplay was fun. The driving was fun. Gunplay was fun. I enjoyed it. I think it was a little bit better than Saints Row 3. Definitely a lot better than Saints Row 2, I think, personally. That's just me. I don't know. 100% better than Saints Row 1. Saints Row 1, you couldn't even, not gonna say downscope, but you couldn't downscope. Like, you kind of just shot freely, if you know what I mean. Like, there was no, you can't press the L trigger and somewhat scope in. Anyways, getting off topic. The story to me was lackluster. It was. I don't really like the idea that there's just 4 college friends or 4 friends and they come together to have a gang. Like, there's no motive. You know what I mean? Like, okay, they're poor, or they can't afford rent. All right, that's a motive. But how come your character is a psychopath killer? You know? Like, I mean, I guess it wouldn't make sense either if you kind of relate to the first game. Like, oh, the first game you find Julia, or Julius finds you, and all of a sudden you start killing people. It's like, okay, I guess that wouldn't make sense. But at least in the second game, why you're so gritty and dark is because of what happened to you and how you were treated and how you became such a power trip. In the reboot, there's like no reason why you're angry besides being in debt. It's like they're trying to appeal to the younger generation of us that is in debt and that have nothing going on or whatever. And that to me feels weird. It's like, instead of making a story, a fictional story, you try to relate it to your audience. Now look, I'm not a marketer. I don't work in these departments. I don't understand how these things work. Maybe it's a gimmick. It's like, if no one will play your game if you can't relate to it. Is that a thing? Maybe. Hey, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if that's a thing. If that's a thing, it's a thing. Me personally, I couldn't care less. Like, you think I could really relate to anyone in Saints Row 2? No. You think I could relate to anyone when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto? No. Anyone? Do you think I can relate to a bunch of mushrooms in MapleStory? No. I play the game because I enjoy it. So, I don't know. The gun customizations was pretty cool. I do like how kind of in-depth they went, and you can like add different liveries and stuff like that. I just wish I wish there was a little bit more to it. Definitely better than Saints Row 2. I don't even think there was gun customization in Saints Row 2. Not that I remember, but it was a lot better than even Saints Row 3, because Saints Row 3 kind of introduced a little bit of changing the way the gun looked, just a little bit. So that's cool. Customization, the clothing customization. I thought the clothing was cool. I thought the hairstyles were nice, the beards, the teeth, the like how you can have prosthetic arms or different types of skin variations. Like, that was cool. I enjoyed those things. I think more games should be a little bit more open with stuff like that, and it gives you a little bit more customization of what your character could be. But the overall story of how the game was, I was not a fan of. It took me a while to get through it because I wasn't interested to get through. I kind of pushed myself just to complete the game. Once I completed the game, once the final mission came up, well, I'm gonna say final mission. I think there was more to the game. Once I beat it, I uninstalled it. I just said, all right, I think I'm done. I saw the credits. It was cool. All right, I'm out of here. And I uninstalled it. And I never looked back since. Never touched it since. I don't know. So, there's not much to this. I just wanted to talk about the game and just give my opinion. People will definitely have different opinions. They might say you're dumb. They might agree. They might disagree. Whatever the case is, I'm just giving you mine. And if I had to rate Saints Row Reboot out of 10, I'd probably give it a 5 or a 6. And that's just because the story and where it comes from really drags it down. People probably complain and say, if you missed old Saints Row, go play old Saints Row. And I do. But I also like to see, if you're going to keep the franchise alive, I like to see you stick to your roots. You know, people complain that Resident Evil wasn't scary anymore. After Resident Evil 4, it became all action. What did they do? They're like, okay, we're going to go back to our roots. You can arguably say that RE7 and 8 may not be scary, but me personally, Resident Evil 7 scares the shit out of me. Just because that's just me. Maybe it scared other people. So you can see that they're trying to gain back that old audience. Volition for Saints Row, you have a plethora of people saying, bring back the old Saints Row. Even if it's like Saints Row 3, it was still good. Bring it back. It's like they look at it, they read it, they throw it out the window, and then they look over and see like 3 people saying, yeah, do whatever you want. And they follow those 3 people. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just my opinion. And, you know, I'm very strong about Saints Row. As you can see, my theme of my channel is purple. My symbol is fleur-de-lis. These things all came because I played Saints Row 2 religiously. And I felt my favorite color used to be green. Now it's purple. Everything I like to do is purple. You know, I got purple lights on my computer. I got a purple background. I just don't own a purple shirt or a purple car. Not yet. You know, everything to me is about that color because I feel strength in that color because it reminds me of Saints Row and how much I enjoyed it. But now it's just like, to me, it's just whatever now. Just because of where the game went. It is what it is. You know, they're not going to come across this video. Volition's going to come say, hey, you know what, this Jonzarroni guy, he speaks to us. Like, no, I'm not going to do any of that crap. But that's just my opinion. It's my, I'm not going to say review because review means reviewing the game, and I'm not here to review the game. I'm here to talk about the game, give my opinion, and that's all I did, and that's all I'm going to do. So that's all I have to say for now. I bid you all adieu. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the 11 minutes, 12 minutes, however long this really is. If you made it this far, thank you. If you didn't make it this far, you probably don't even hear this, but that's fine as well. Thank you again. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in. This is Jonzarroni signing off, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.